Good morning, Year 10, and today we are going to be looking at comparing poems again. The difference this time is you're going to be choosing the poems that you're going to write about. So the lesson will give you a bit of structure, a little bit of coaching of how to go about this task, and then at the end of this presentation, you'll be asked to write your own paragraph using two poems from the collection, ones that you like and feel confident with. Okay, so let's get started. So I've just put up the picture of the elephant and the polar bear again. A few weeks ago, I did a lesson with you on comparing poems, and I used these two pictures to help kind of demonstrate some comparison skills. So if you feel you're a bit rusty, or if you feel like you're not quite sure what to do in this lesson, then I recommend you go back to that previous lesson and have a look at it again. Okay, so if you do want to go back and check that out, that's absolutely fine. You can pause this video at any point if you want to go and look at the previous one. All right, let's move forward. So this is the comparison paragraph that I wrote for the elephant and the polar bear. It's in that previous presentation. And this is again the type of thing I'm looking for you to write today. So something about this kind of length, one paragraph comparing the two poems. Okay, so that's the bit in the white here. This area here. Where's my cursor gone? This bit here. That's the kind of length that I'm looking for today from you. You can do more, but that's like the minimum expectation. Okay. A reminder that when we are comparing, there's a structure to our comparison paragraph, and that structure relies on 5 key ingredients, which are in this paragraph have been highlighted in different colours. So we need to make sure that your paragraph contains comparison words. Make sure that your paragraph is on the specific topic that the question is asked to focus on. You need to make sure that you have references to the question in your answer. You need to make sure that you have evidence from both poems in your answer and that you've explained that evidence clearly so that you're demonstrating you understand what the poems are about. Today's question is, how do poets present romantic love? So to help you with today's question on the theme of romantic love, I provided you with some resources. These are pages from the textbook. So either have the textbook in front of you or you can open up the PDF files in Classroom. And the point of this resource is it will give you, or it does give you, some very precise notes for a range of poems on the theme of romantic love. This means that when you choose your poems today, these are the poems that the textbook is recommending. So the collection, the poems you should be thinking about using today are Valentine, or My Last Duchess, or A Complaint, or She Walks in Beauty, or Love's Dog, or The Manhunt, or Sonnet 43, or I Want to Be Yours. Okay, so those are the poems that I'm looking for you to choose from today. Now, if you need to kind of go over those poems again, then obviously go back through Google Classroom and find the particular lessons on each of those poems and you can revise them. But hopefully the notes on these pages that are in front of you now will give you a little bit of an insight as to how you can compare or what you could write about each poem. And then obviously that would link into the comparison. So if you're going to plan your answer for your comparison paragraph, as you're going to kind of prepare yourself before you write, then this screen here is to help you kind of start planning your ideas. So the question's in the green box at the top, and then in the blue box in the middle is the kind of what that question is really asking. So how is each poem presenting the idea of romantic love? And then in the two white boxes on the side, you've got poem 1 in red and poem 2 in blue, and that's where you should now use the textbook pages from the previous slide and just write down some ideas from the textbook pages. That's where I'd put them in those two boxes there, just to get your ideas down in kind of little bullet points. If you want to get more ideas, if you want to get more detail, then go back to the PDF lesson notes for each poem that we've already studied a few weeks ago. remind you again, you're choosing the poems here. So any two from the list I've read out a moment ago, any two from that list should be absolutely fine. So here is a kind of structure to how you're going to write your comparison paragraph. First thing is that we are focusing today on romantic love. So that means that we are only thinking about this particular topic, which is what the question is about. And this particular paragraph, it's also worth noting that we're only looking at opening lines. Okay, it's very important that when you compare poems, that you do only one thing at a time. So this paragraph is only going to be looking at opening lines. Okay, so you'll see it says opening lines in the first line up there. Then it says the quote is the first line there, and then it says here as well first line. So you're only looking at first lines today on this particular paragraph. The structure of this paragraph is color coded. So in black we've got lines that are to do with comparison, and there's three of those: one right at the beginning, one right in the middle, and one right at the end. And then we've got red, which is all about the first poem, whichever one you've chosen that is, that's your choice. So that's your first poem. And the blue bit is the second poem. So again, whichever one you've chosen, that's the second poem for that. Okay, so that's the structure. So what I suggest you do is you pause the video here and you try to write your paragraph comparing how the first lines demonstrate or show that love is romantic. Okay, when you finish your paragraph, unpause the video because the next page or the next screen will give you an opportunity to add a kind of a little extra kind of point or two to your paragraph to improve it a little bit further. Okay, so pause it here, and when you've done your paragraph, press play again, and the next slide will give you that extra boost. So the previous slide had a structure that we've just been working with. This slide has a slightly different structure, but it's actually really the same thing. The difference, though, is that where the previous structure asked for a micro quote, I should say, a micro quote, this one has instead mentioned terminology. Okay, so we've got terminology here, which wasn't mentioned in the previous structure. That's been used twice, once in the red for the first poem and once in blue for the second poem. Okay, so if you've got a paragraph that you've done, the paragraph that you've completed, where you have previously used the word word in your microquote, it might be possible to now add some terminology to give yourself an extra mark or two. Okay, so all you need to do is change the word from word into noun, adjective, verb, or adverb, or whatever term is actually relevant to the word you've picked out. Okay, and if you're not sure, you should Google that word and find a definition in a dictionary, and it should tell you what type of word it is. Okay, and if you then put that terminology into your answer, you've just boosted your paragraph by a couple of marks. Okay, so that's the final part of today's lesson. I hope it's all gone well, and I look forward to seeing your work as you hand it in now. Okay, take care, year 10. I'll see you soon.